Paul, what's up, man? It's a pleasure.
What's up, Q? I always like talking to you, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for making the time. This is one of the first of many conversations we're having with like future thinkers at large. And what's fascinating about you, just being an inevitable human member and just the path, the journey at which you excel through emerging technologies, to me was fascinating. I wanted to share that with a few people. Where I want to start though is you see a new emerging technology like voice. A lot of people, they just, stop, they look at what's going on, they assess, and they're just constantly churning what's that big idea or how can they make their first million and sometimes even $1 billion. It seems like you were saying, hey, let's take a bunch of small bets and let's build a community and a business around that community. But instead of going the one-to-many approach, you're saying, let me help enable a ton of people, and this might not be the thing that makes you that million or that billion, but this is gonna give you a lot of insights into the future. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves is people who say they're gonna do something and they never do it.
Okay.
And so because of that, I became very, very tactical and detail oriented around a big idea.
Okay.
I want to execute a big idea. I want to have a big idea come to life and monetize that. But you can only do that if you know how to execute it and how to get detail oriented.
No, that's fascinating because most people, they think about just the technology at large and they see that as the big idea and they force everything to fit. You, on the other hand, are saying hey, I have to think about it from this tactical standpoint. What got you there? What was the foundational underpinning of that thinking in an emerging tech?
So we all love instant gratification at some level, right?
Right.
Some of us get it in different ways than others. I get instant gratification out of solving someone's problem.
Okay.
So if you think about solving a problem, most people think about the long game of solving the problem, aka the product launch and the pop and sizzle around that.
Yeah.
I think about I know that I can figure something out for you and show you progress in an hour.
Okay.
Or less.
Yeah.
And so then I can feel good about myself the rest of the day, and you can feel good about me.
Right.
And that's how I get. So I'm super micro, right?
Yes.
In that regard.
Okay, so by focusing on that, what was the first do you remember the first time you just realized that you had instant gratification internally from solving other people's problems?
Yeah. So when I was 15 years old, I didn't really like being an attendee at a party. My friends would want to go out and party, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to miss out on that. I like my friends.
You didn't want to hang
you know
with
what
the
I
kids?
mean? No, I didn't want to miss out. I wanted to go.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So my problem was I didn't really know how to be social at the party.
Right.
I didn't want to be the attendee at the party. So my solution for that was I want to be the DJ at the party.
Oh, you were a DJ?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I was also a DJ.
No way.
Seriously?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
man.
that's crazy.
That's awesome.
Alrighty, cool.
So,
records, right?
Records.
Techniques?
Turntables. Yep.
Technique 1200s?
1200s, baby.
Woo!
Yeah. I had the Rain TTM 52 mixer.
Okay.
So I didn't go Vestax.
But you were crossfade.
But it was smooth.
Yeah, it was super smooth on the crossfade.
Yep.
I mean, for the people that don't know, he's a real techie. Because DJ, I feel like DJs are the real techies because you're just making things work, taking cable here. But coming back to that, okay, so you're spinning at the parties. You're now a part of the scene. That evolves into this new era where you now have a company.
Yeah.
You live where? For the people that don't know.
I live in Valencia, Spain.
That's so fascinating to me because you started a company in Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
And you live in Spain.
Yes.
How does that work at large, just in general? It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
It blows people's minds when I tell them that.
What's the time hour difference for the people that don't know?
So between my core team and I, 7 hours.
Okay, so 7 hour time difference. That's cool because you can work on stuff while they sleep and they can work on stuff while you're asleep. So you've kind of got the globalization happening. That's pretty cool. But tell me why and how you go to Spain to become an entrepreneur or be a business owner or what's up?
So most of us want to retire.
Yes.
And we want to retire and enjoy life. And the things that we want to do when we retire pretty much always include travel, spend time with family.
I could agree with that.
And so my super smart wife had the idea a few years ago, why wait? We can serve clients anywhere. And if we build up enough trust and reliability, which
Yeah.
that's what we do because
Right.
we work hard, we solve those problems. And if we do that, then why not travel now and give our kids the experience now and live it now?
That's
so
fair,
that's what
fair.
we've done.
Yeah. So when walk me through it. Did you start the company in Nashville and just know you were always going to Spain, or did you like just say, hey, I'm going to take it piece by piece, and then you pick Spain because of a specific reason? Like,
Yeah.
what was the thought process there?
Well, so when I met my wife, we met when we were in college
Okay.
at Michigan State.
Okay.
And so,
West Coast, or not West Coast, Midwest.
Midwest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so she's a traveler. And so I knew when I met her, like, I can't change her. She's always going to want to travel. And sure enough, when we got married, we started talking about right when we got married, she's like, when can we get out of Michigan? When can we get out of the United States? When can we go to a Spanish-speaking country? And so I kind of knew when I married her, like, we're going to move to Spain one
Right,
day. So
right.
15 years later,
Okay.
13 years later, we moved to Spain.
13 years later,
Yeah.
13 years in the making. And what's it been like? Tell me about that experience.
It's been amazing experience from the regards that, like, I just didn't know what I didn't know about the world until I got it. It's
Nunca
like
se
it's like
sabe, right?
it's like an what's that?
Nunca se sabrá.
Sí.
Okay.
Exactly. So like you don't. It's like technology and what we talked about earlier. It's like you don't know about the emerging technology until you become the practitioner in it. And so when we
Yes,
became
yes.
the practitioner in, like, moving to Spain and living in Spain, and it's been amazing to meet people from around the world. It's changed my life 100%.
So for someone that is in their mid-career, they want to be an entrepreneur, they kind of have established themselves at some geographical footprint that is in point A,
Yeah.
but they have this destination in mind that's point B, and they don't want to reinvent themselves. What advice would you give to that person?
Okay, so there's something that you love in life. And if you really want to move, if you really want to get geographically from point A to point B, you have to go hard into what you love. And so for me at age 15, it was DJing, and
Yeah.
that was the unlock.
Right.
Instant gratification came from playing a song, and then the money came from DJing the party.
Yeah.
And then I had, like, the leverage and the flexibility to do a bunch of other stuff.
Wow.
And so that's really what it is for anybody. So if you really want to move geographic locations and have, like, a true remote actual remote business, you have to hone in on what it is that you love to do, because if you do that, you can take that with you anywhere, and you need to think less about the money side and think more about the happiness and the fulfillment side that you would get out of the move.
Got it. And so you've optimized at this point your lifestyle so that it best suits you, your family, and then your business. And I want to jump back to your business. What is it like for a client to be partnered with data-driven design? I know you're futuristic. I know you're showing me the future of voice and how that integrates with WordPress. I know you can help me with the content strategy, but it's not every day an agency exists in two places that is, this small. If you don't not as a not as a diss. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
That, yeah.
We like being small, and we're proud of that. And so actually we lead with who we are.
Okay.
We lead with exactly who we are.
Yeah.
So when you talk to me in a new client call or prospective client call, I'm telling you, we're a small, scrappy 8-person agency. We don't have an office. I'm just telling you that flat.
Right.
Like, so you get, like, we're not fancy. And so that kind of unlocks the whole ability to say, like, we do good work regardless of where we are. I'm in Valencia, Spain. My team's in Nashville, Tennessee, Seattle, and Miami, and there it is.
And then how does the creativity change? Because an agency, the difference between working with a standard agency is you know what you're getting. You're getting not necessarily the proverbial, like, grunt work that everyone's getting without the agency, but you get, like, this is on brand. This is, like, turn of the year. This is like we fit, and we're not necessarily leading the pack, but we're in the pack and we're in that class.
Yeah.
When you work with a smaller agency, you get a lot of that guerrilla marketing, outside of the box, like, let's try it different, and like the energy is just it's an experience in itself.
Sure, absolutely.
How do you capture that? Because I feel like just communication. Like, if you miscommunicate something, there's a 7-hour delta between your team figuring it out and then you figuring it out, and that can compound over time. And I think if I were, like, a potential client, like, isn't that a challenge you face? Like, it's like a fear that they look at?
Yeah, so there's a couple core things we do to build that culture.
Yeah.
One is we make sure that we all get together at least a couple times a year in person. You have to do that.
In Spain?
Not yet, but coming soon.
Got it.
And then the second thing we do is we'll do like a remote happy hour. We'll schedule a Zoom conference for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody will crack, like some of us sparkling water if you don't drink, some of us will crack a beer if you do drink. And we'll just say like, what are you doing today? Like, and talk about personal stuff.
Yeah, and that gets it's like the water cooler. You're creating the water cooler experience, but digitally, and that allows for creativity to manifest and foster.
And we'll say like, shut down Slack, shut down email, only be on this Zoom conference for 15 minutes.
That makes sense. Well, it sounds like you've got an incredible culture at Data-Driven Design. I'm super impressed by just your ability to just think about the future at large, not necessarily only for a business or only in a technological environment, but your psychological and your family and the lifestyle that you've created. I mean, that's what a future thinker looks like. So thank you for taking this time.
Thanks, Q. I love being part of the community. I've never been happier in my life, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thanks, man.